Okay, I'd now like to open the public hearing for the special one-day application for abandoned building brewery for October 19th in Eastworks for the Old Town Hall Ball.
Add this, this is our
Thank you.
insurance and our tips for that.
Yep.
night.
So, oh, you're here for New City also?
Yes,
Okay.
we are showing up for them. So we're applying jointly for the license. Both Abandoned Building Brewery and New City Brewery would be serving alcohol in the ballroom that evening of the event.
And it's from 7 to 10,
7 to 10, yes. October
19th.
19th.
Just waiting for, I didn't realize she wasn't in here.
Sorry. You're all set.
I'll just wait in case there's.
Oh, okay.
Any questions?
No, I'm making a motion that we give it to.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Do you want to leave with it or you want to grab it later?
I'll grab it later.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good job. Great.
Okay, so we're gonna circle back to, I saw Chris come in. So, Chris, you're here, you wanna request a site visit? You're ready for us to come over and,
Let me tell you where we're at on that. We are still in final negotiations on that. There's been a lot of back and forth on, because it's a build out, what the costs are of the heating and the plumbing and those type of things. What I do have completed is the actual license. I have a folder here with everything in it. We have, this is a letter from Eastworks saying that we are in fact in the final process of negotiating the lease, and that it was delayed due to the cost of plumbing and heating. On the back side of that, there's also a draft of the initial lease. I did have some pushback on that, so we were renegotiating that as part of the thing. We've come very close to an agreement on it. He's gonna have the final lease Wednesday. We're gonna go over this coming Wednesday, and we should be able to come to an agreement at that point.
What is that about? I wasn't at the meetings.
I'm sorry?
What are you talking about? I wasn't
Oh,
at the.
okay, it's a billiard hall
Oh, okay.
with a liquor license and Eastworks. And in addition to that, we have the scope of the work in here that Eastworks is planning to do. We are incorporated now, I have that in here.
so you have not sent in your application yet because you need your signed lease to send in with it, correct?
I did pay it today.
Okay,
It is paid.
all right.
I haven't submitted, I do submit it to you, correct?
Once we have everything
Correct.
all together.
Correct.
Do you think that you're gonna meet the deadline for the DOR though? That they gave you, what was it, December?
You would have to have it in by the November meeting for us
Yeah.
to send out.
So,
Have you spoke to someone at the DOR though, if you need an extension?
I don't know if I need an extension.
Okay, all right.
That's where I'm at.
I wouldn't wait till, 2 days before
Right,
though.
Right, no, I understand. I'm trying to gauge
Yeah.
where we're at right now. But site plan, layout, I did do the tips course, and
Good.
completed that. put together a plan for alcohol and safety measures
Good.
in here. And I have my verification that I'm a U.S. citizen. And I also settled the debt with Horizon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
That's all
Basi-
gonna go with the application too.
right,
Okay.
right, I just wanna
Yeah.
show
Yeah,
you what
no.
I've done here.
No, it looks like you
Um,
pretty much,
He bought the pan license.
Okay.
you pretty much have all the things that were on your checklist.
Yep.
Right.
Seems like you've done. It's just now a matter of getting your lease signed and
Correct.
getting your application in,
And the-
so.
And the only other thing I need after that is I believe, the only other thing I need after that is I gotta do the abutters.
Yeah,
Notifications,
and we
yeah.
gotta
And
publish it in the Gazette.
I'm a little confused on how to do that.
I can walk you through that.
Okay, great. And I gotta get the approval notice from the bank. We're in the process of that now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't see any issues. We are going with an SBA loan, which I worked very diligently with the SBA, and they like the numbers and they feel good about it, so.
So what is his date that he's gotta get into you to get in the Gazette and get, cause you've got holidays in there and stuff, you have to remember that.
I would have to look at a calendar.
Yeah.
I think this, we're really on, because we're really on a November deadline here.
Yeah,
So he has to submit that 10 days prior to the Gazette, I
Yep.
believe, so we have to do that this month
yeah.
for
We
him to
can-
get on the
We can do
agenda.
that
'Cause
this week if you like.
Well, it's gonna be up to you if you have all your ducks in a row, because we
Right,
don't
right.
wanna publish this as a public hearing
Right. that's-
in the Gazette.
okay.
You're gonna pay for that Gazette ad too,
Right.
so,
Okay, probably
Uh,
looking at next week then, I would say.
okay. So you're gonna wanna do the abutters notification and the Gazette ad at the same time.
Okay.
And that has to be 10 days prior before coming before the board with your full application ready to submit.
Okay,
Then they're either gonna approve or not and then send off to the ABCC.
okay. Now, do I need to make an appointment with you or just call you? Just call you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But you were here to schedule a site visit too for this month.
Yes, well, I think, schedule a site visit for next week, I think would be,
Is there, have you started your build out?
they have not started the build-out.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably another concern here, I should say. They pushed the lease out till February 1st.
Start,
Yes.
Okay.
To open.
all right.
So they plan to be done with the build-out January 1st and give me a month to do what I need to do in there.
Okay, and that's not a problem at all. What there's other companies here in town that have, come before us and gotten their license and they're still building out, so that's not a problem at all. But to do a site visit though, we're not gonna be seeing anything, so.
Okay. Now, what do you mean by build out?
Oh, they gotta build out the walls and
Oh, make it bigger.
electricity. Well, no, it's an open space right now.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna put the walls in and the electrical and all.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Is it rented a space at Eastworks?
Yeah, just make it big, okay.
So it sounds like you're on the right track. You just wanna stay on top of your people to keep it moving so
Oh, and-
you meet your deadline. I'm sure you are, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can work through the abutters and the Gazette ad when you're comfortable to
Okay.
publish that for the November hearing, if you feel like you're ready
Yeah.
to come
Well,
before the board in November.
After Wednesday, we should know, like I said, we should be meeting Wednesday to look at the lease and go over it and, hopefully I'll have news on Thursday. I can call you and say,
Yeah. I'm gonna rely on you to reach out to me this time,
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds good.
thank you, Chris.
Okay.
We'll see you at our next meeting.
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
great.
Stay
Thank
in
you.
touch.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, new old business. Update on legislative licenses. City planner, Joe, and licensing clerk.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Thanks for hearing me. I'm gonna rely on Lindsay a little bit on this one too, because I think it works as an update as to the status and the process for doing the over the quota licensing. I did go back and I did get, a copy of the city council vote So city council voted to approve the request for the over quota on March 20th. And then I was able to review the letter that the chairperson, Ms. Ritchie, wrote, which went along with that, which I think did a great job of kind of explaining the overall need for the licenses. And what it sounds like is that, and this is where I need a little bit of the details, but at
Yeah.
the state, when they were reviewing the request, they asked for the licenses to be allocated to geographic areas in the city. So big picture, there were 14 licenses requested, and 12 of them were serving permits of some sort. So
Yep.
between all alcohol and beer and wine, and then just 2 were package store. Sorry, that's my lingo, but
Yeah.
package store licenses. So Lindsay and I have been talking about the geographic allocation of the licenses, and of the 12, the initial thought was to just split them evenly. That basically 4 would go downtown, 4 would go. Is that right? 4, 4, 8. Yeah. No. I knew I was going to butcher this
No.
part.
And I should
No.
have printed out the email that
I think I
It-
have
It's
it.
8 are all
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
4 are beer and malt.
Yeah.
2 are for package stores.
Yeah,
Live in.
okay. Right, so here was the breakdown was,
Okay.
and I'm just lumping them together for conversation, but, so for all alcohol and beer and wine, just include them together, it's gonna be 5 in the mills, 5 downtown, and 2 in the highway business. And that was kind of the easy way to just split them. But, what we're looking at for economic development activity is, the mill district has a lot more room for additional growth. There's a lot of vacancies in the mills, as we know them. So Eastworks, Keystone, Paragon, and then with the redevelopment of One Ferry Street, what I started to look at was that in the downtown area now, and again, we're just including them both together, all and beer and wine, but in the downtown now, there's 16. And in the mills right now, there's 6. And so the even split would have brought the mills to 11, but would have bumped downtown to like 22.
Yeah.
And so the conversation that Lindsay and I had and started to talk about was giving the mills a few more to bring them a little bit closer to the number that are downtown. So the proposal would be to give the mills 7, which would bring them to 13 total. And then give downtown 3 additional, which would bring them to 19. So then, by not splitting them evenly, you'd have 19 downtown, 13 in the mills, and the highway business would get 4, with two new ones.
Oh, 13, what was it again?
Yep, so 19, this is just proposed, but
Yep.
19 total downtown,
Yep.
13 total in the mills, and then 4 total in the highway business.
Okay.
And the split would be 7 new ones for the mills and 3 new ones for downtown.
What is highway business in town right now? I know it's like Northampton Street is highway business zone.
Yep.
Going up to about where Tasty Top is. Starting there and going down to like the post office. That's all highway business zone through there.
Yeah, it goes
Where
all
is
the way
it?
to like, it all goes all the way to like Valley Medical.
Yep.
But for all intents and purposes, Valley Medical is what it is, and
Yeah.
the bank is what it is.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing ever, I've never heard anything discussed for that other side of O'Neill Street.
No,
But it
there
does go
isn't
all
right
that way.
there. But if Cumberland Farms wanted to sell beer and
Yep.
wine, they could then become, that is highway business zone for them. Going out of town though, where does highway business zone start and end?
I was trying to print it before I came. I will confirm it, I can pull up a map, but generally speaking, the highway business starts, what's the, if anyone noticed, the guy with the Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Puts up the
All the
float,
floaty
the blow up,
things.
Okay.
what
Oh,
street
yep,
is that
okay.
there?
I know which one you're talking
Is
about.
that where Billy
Yep.
Sullivan lives, Dragon Circle?
Yeah, yep.
It's in that vicinity, and
Yep.
I'll pull up the map, but it starts at one of those.
Lawndale Street, I think.
Which it? Lawndale.
Lawndale, like-
Yeah, and it might be the one before that. But generally it starts right there, and I can confirm on the map, but yeah.
No, but going out of town, the other way, down 10 towards Southampton, is there any highway
Oh.
business zone going down that way?
No, because it ends up where we just talked about Longdale
Okay.
or the other side
Yep.
street, and then you get down here, it's at the top of Main Street, it's downtown business.
Yep,
And then that stops, downtown business stops right at.
the bridge.
The library, actually,
Yeah.
going towards
Oh, okay.
Southampton.
Hmm.
And River Valley's gonna be getting one of these too.
It's never, I have never heard that, but I think that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
would
they
be-
would have to,
Right.
they sell beer and
They sell
wine.
it at the
Right.
Northampton one, that's why
Right.
it was my assumption, it's not something in a
Right, and so there would be one new off-premise,
Okay.
and then there'd be one new, no, is it? Yeah.
Two would be the off-premises, what we're proposing.
But not to the highway, I think there were 2 off-premise in general, so one of
Yes.
those would go to highway.
Oh, yeah, there's 2 all alcohol and there's 1 beer and wine off-premise. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yep,
It's listed in the same-
so there's 3 package store ones essentially.
Okay. And they would, each of the 3 districts would get 1, essentially.
Okay.
So then, Counselor McCoy, you had a conversation about, and you, maybe this is for you, Lindsay, about what they wanted to confirm the geographic.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they said that the committee approved it, but then they wanted the zoning attachments to it. And then they wanted a zoning map, an economic development plan, and a letter from city council.
Right.
So I went back and said, what?
Yeah.
And I guess just a letter from our wonderful city council president would suffice, or.
And we've determined that.
Use your phone.
I don't have one on me.
Oh, you don't?
I can
We've-
go,
I forgot mine too.
We've determined that we don't have an economic development plan that covers everything. So,
Mhm.
we have a master plan from 2008.
Mhm. I did send a link to our website of all the planning board, all the planning developments.
Okay.
Projects you guys have going on.
Right.
So I sent him a link to the projects page.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anything back, so.
Okay. I mean, and I think even in your letter, it identified that we're exploring the potential reuse of the schools. And I'm inclined to say that the preliminary findings are gonna come out on Wednesday, we're having our last public meeting on Wednesday night. And by and large, it looks like the best potential uses are housing.
Mhm.
And whether or not the buildings get mixed uses or not is not abundantly clear, but even with the 3 additional downtown, there's an opportunity there. But where we see the most vacant spaces in the mills, so the gentleman who was just here, my understanding is he's getting one of the last available licenses, and.
No, that was an
He bought
actual
a
Oh,
license,
he bought it,
yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
there really isn't any.
There isn't any.
So when you look at the project who put the parking behind the mills is really just starting to show how those property owners can get into the back and use some of those spaces. So that's kind of the justification for giving the mills a few more, plus 1 Ferry Street, there's a lot more potential build out
Yeah.
still to come over there.
No, definitely, I agree with how you've changed it from the 5.5 to 7.3.
I did it equally because I wasn't aware of what
Yeah.
was already there, and so then Jeff came in and did it equitable, so, which makes more sense.
It makes sense when
Yeah.
they were brought up last night to us about, because we have a parking issue downtown. So if there's a liquor license everywhere you turn, where are these people gonna park?
Yeah.
That's what people are asking, and it makes sense to shift them over to the mill, which is being developed, where actually is parking
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, and then just looking at like what happens when you do the allocations, it just brings the mills a little bit closer to where the downtown is with the number of licenses.
Right.
So it's not like really top heavy.
And Lindsay, did you do any questioning though about amending the existing legislative licenses?
I did, and I never heard back from JB,
Okay.
Thomason's office.
Okay. Just stay on them on that. That
Okay.
would be very helpful if this is gonna take a while to get. If we can possibly amend it quicker than get these, that would open up some licenses for businesses coming into town.
Yep.
Any other questions?
So, do we have a letter drafted? Are we able to draft?
We will, I mean, I just
Okay.
wanted, because I wanted to get a little bit of information that Jeff had, and then I wanted to get the vote and
Yeah.
the date for city council, so I can say, nothing has changed, we feel, just
Yeah, no,
kind of
that
combine
makes
it.
sense. Yep.
And Dan, I was talking to Dan Carey, and the question was, do we need to send this to council and re-vote the distribution of the licenses?
yeah.
He feels not.
Right.
So we're gonna go with a simple approach first, and if by chance they correct him, they'll let us know.
Right.
But we're gonna go with simple, we don't, as I said, we don't have an economic development plan, but we're gonna have a letter from Jeff stating what our economic vision is.
Mhm.
The other thing they required is a map of the zoning, so we're gonna include that, and then a letter from me, and then hopefully that will get the process going again.
Good. I appreciate everyone's help on this too.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, this is it's a good opportunity. So I mean, I think just making it a little bit more, just orienting it a little bit more towards the mill, so that at the end of the day, it's still never gonna be equal, but it'll be a little bit closer to that.
By the time this gets approved, the legislation's gonna get dropped anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
They're in talks about
Can I borrow
not
these?
having it be a
Yep,
thing.
yep.
But we're hearing that's going nowhere.
Huh.
Too much money.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk
Well,
about
then that's why kind of like I push with, amending what's
Yeah.
out there, because we've got 3 licenses just sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
they're on buildings that they're not gonna, the use is gonna stay the same.
Yeah.
They're not using the liquor licenses at all.
See, I could have sworn, like even as far back, that we had, maybe not Old City Hall, but I thought the new ones, we had thought ahead and had written in there that if they would be returned, but maybe.
No, what happened was somebody cut and pasted when they put it in,
Uh-huh.
and the language stayed on for Bear's property up here, that was a one legislative license,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't take that sentence out when they sent it in, and
Oh.
it got approved, they got approved with that sentence still in there.
Ah.
That's what Barbara and I finally figured that out, because we couldn't understand why we would have done 8 legislative
Yeah.
licenses tied to 8 properties
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
I know we did it specifically with Old City Hall because we wanted to say, if you tear this building down and put up some kind of modern, the liquor license isn't there. For that particular reason, we wanted it to be that building
Mhm.
as economic development to save that building.
Yeah.
But that was the only one I thought we had that.
Yeah, and it
idea.
just got carried over to the
Oh.
next group that was requested. It didn't get deleted out of there.
Okay.
So that's what I'm hoping, maybe they would amend them with that language in there, that it was, some type of mistake on our part in
Right.
our submission.
Right.
So maybe they'll allow us a Scribner's affidavit or something that inadvertently added. All right, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, I just have one thing. I talked to the mayor, and I'm gonna give my resignation as of today, but I don't have it with me to give to that, so I was gonna put it in for today, but it's gonna go for next month. So it'll give time for everything to get squared away. Then it's just for personals. Okay?
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Enjoy working with you.
Okay.
I check your-